Have you ever heard of Hot Pockets? You've seen the commercials on TV. These are great things to make, say if you've got kids and your kids are going to have their friends over after soccer practice or something. You're a soccer mom, right? You want something fairly easy to make, but it'll be fun for the kids to eat. Make pizza pockets. Kids love pizza. So that's what I'm going to make right now. I'm going to make some pizza pockets. So here's our package of phyllo dough. I like this package for a couple of reasons. One, this is Athens brand. I've had good success with Athens brand. Some brands I've found where the sheets won't tear apart, they won't come apart, they break up. I also like this because it comes with 2 envelopes inside. So when I'm making a savory pie, I use one for the bottom crust and one for the top crust. Now, because these are very thin and very delicate, if they dry out, they'll just fall apart on you. If your kitchen is really dry, maybe you live out in the desert or it's winter time and the heat is on and it's drying your home out, very low humidity, you can wet a piece of fabric, but you don't want it dripping wet. One thing I will do is take some paper towel and then roll it up in the paper towel and just absorb some excess moisture out of it. I want this damp enough that it'll keep the phyllo dough from drying out, but not so wet that it'll wet the phyllo dough. If it gets wet, it'll stick together and you can't separate it. First of all, I put some of my olive oil and I added a little bit of clarified butter to that just so that I won't have too strong a flavor of olive oil. I put that in a bowl. I have some pepperoni. I'm going to separate these out. I have some mozzarella cheese. And then what I did earlier is I put some spaghetti sauce in a pan, a skillet. I added a good pinch of oregano, and then I cooked this. I kind of boiled this a little bit to get rid of the water that's in it, so I end up with more of a paste. This is similar to, but not quite as thick as a tomato paste. This is a good pizza sauce. Now I want to start off by putting down one of my sheets of phyllo dough. Turn my cover. This has a grain to it. I'll show you. It'll tear, see, along the grain. As you can see it doing at the edge there. It'll tear this way. So when I start off, I just brush across with my fat. I don't brush this way because I don't want to risk tearing it. It's still in a very delicate stage right now. As I build this up, it'll start gaining strength. And I'm going to turn this around just so that I have the torn edge closest to me. Now, add another sheet on top. Like so. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's all going to get rolled up and baked. Now it's starting to gain some strength. Okay, I'm going to do one more sheet on there. But I'm not going to butter this or oil this sheet. Not yet. Then, for my pizza pocket, I'm going to put in a little bit. 4 pieces of pepperoni. When I say in a little bit, I want to cover about the middle third and I want to leave an edge uncovered over here at this end. I want to just dab that lightly with a little bit of my pizza sauce. You don't need much. And then put some of my mozzarella cheese on top. See what I'm doing? I'm making a little pizza. Make sure that's all in, away from the edges. Bring this in. Now, I want to just cover the center line with some butter, or oil in my case. Roll that over, press it in. Spread it again with some oil. Cover it again. And finally spread it again with some oil. And just roll this up into a nice little packet. So there is my little pizza pocket. I am in the meantime heating up my oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 218 Celsius. I've lined a baking sheet with parchment paper. I'm going to place these on there. I'm going to get about a dozen of them, I guess, on this sheet. And then I don't need to bake these a long time because the filling inside is already cooked. There's nothing raw in there. I just need to cook this shell and brown it. Shouldn't take more than maybe 10 or 15, maybe 20 minutes at the most. So there they are, a dozen of my hot pockets. If you wanted to, you could dress these up a little bit by brushing the top with some clarified butter or some oil, and then sprinkling some sesame seeds on top. So these now are ready to go into the oven. I'm going to bake these, as I said, for 10 or 15 minutes on a rack in the upper part of the oven, and I'm going to watch them closely. I'm mostly concerned, I just want to see them browning. So there they are, out of the oven. Those were in the oven for exactly 10 minutes. You can see the nice browning that I got. And they started to puff up a little bit too, which means it's starting to boil a little bit inside, but no leaking anywhere. I'm going to let these cool for a little bit. They should be warm to eat, but not really hot to eat. So there they are. I filled up a plate with them. I cut one in half so I could see what they look like on the inside. This is the one I'm going to taste. Just like pizza. Very good. Didn't take a long time to make. Baked in 10 minutes. Excuse me. I'm going to go enjoy my pizza pocket. For a printable PDF copy of this recipe with step-by-step photographs, visit my website, mobilehomegourmet.com, and look on the home page or in the recipe archive.